Hi, welcome to tonight. We are so excited to share with you tonight. My name is Brooke and I love Plexus. Just a quick little backstory. I actually came to Plexus when my researcher husband was looking for an answer to help some of the health issues that I was facing. He researched and found that they were really top notch, high quality. So we decided to dive in. So we came because of the products and we are still here because of the products. But in sharing them, one of the biggest questions that we often get is, what do doctors say about this? What do nurses say? What do medical professionals think about Plexus? So here tonight, just for you, we have four incredible, top-notch medical professionals to share with you exactly what brought them to Plexus and what a medical professional thinks. So we're so excited again to have you here tonight. We're going to have a code word a little later, but just sit back, relax, and I want to introduce you first to Diamond Ambassador Sara. Now, Diamond Ambassador Sara was one of the very first people from the call tonight to jump in with our products. And she did this when she was a nurse. She was a nurse registered in ICU and labor and delivery. And even though now sharing these products with her friends and family has been able to retire her, she still looks back with fond memories because walking the halls of that hospital is how she met her nurse anesthetist husband, who one day saw her, thought she was cute, gave her a cheesy pickup line, and the rest is history. So Sara, tell me, what drew you to Plexus?
Thank you so much, Brooke. Just to spin on that for a second, it really was like the cue Grey's Anatomy. Elevator opens, royal blue scrubs, he steps out of the elevator, and then the rest is history. So yes, it was wonderful. We were ICU nurses together. I actually have to say, it was a little bit of gossip at the nursing station. We were working 12-hour night shifts, and somebody said, "Hey, have y'all heard about that slim stuff?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think somebody mailed me a sample of that." And I ran home, looked through my desk. Sure enough, I had a sample that somebody had sent me. I did a little bit of research. I mixed my pink drink, started drinking it. And I was like, you know what? So it was really fear of missing out. That's what the initial grab was. And then I said, well, I could stand to lose a few pounds. I had two boys at the time. Scrubs were a little bit tight. So initially it was just for that. Didn't want to miss out if somebody else was talking about it. And then I did hear that you could balance your blood sugar and have reduced cravings and lose a few pounds. So that was the initial thing that got me in actually almost 9 years ago.
I love that. That's awesome. And so since then, tell me a little bit about, in your opinion, are the Plexus supplements good quality and what have they done for you so far?
Absolutely. So I absolutely love our products, and I am here to tell you, I'm a personal product of the product for the last 9 years. In just a minute, I'll tell you a little bit about where I was struggling. But I will share with you that my 90-year-old grandmother loves the products, all the way down to my 7-year-old son who's taken the family chewables, and everybody in between. I truly believe that our quality ingredients, our products that make sense, really are for everyone. And Plexus worries about the details, guys. Our ingredients are wonderfully sourced. We've got like the methylated folate that you might need if you've got something that you're looking at, taking a vitamin that your body is actually going to absorb. So wonderful supplements. Really, I didn't even know or understand that I was going to be needing them. So Plexus was introduced before I really realized, 12-hour night shifts, not eating good, not sleeping good, started having some GI issues, some really serious tummy issues that started to interfere with my life, started suffering from some other things. And I have to actually admit that even being a registered nurse, I did not know or understand what gut health was. And it's just been an amazing blessing to be partnered with a company that makes sense with what they offer for people who are struggling with things like I was struggling with.
I love that. And I love that she mentioned that literally everybody on the planet can benefit from these products. That makes me so excited. And let me just mention here briefly, all of the ladies on the call tonight, the four medical professionals and myself, we are with Plexus, what we call Jewel. So that means we've shared these amazing products with enough people to kind of go up and promote to where we're all making 5 figures a month, 6 figures a year. And we don't, that's nice. The income is definitely nice. The perks are definitely nice. advice. But at the heart of all that is the products. It is why we're here. We would not be able to speak about them so passionately and tell people, and then them still be here 9 years later, like you just heard, if they weren't working. So on that note, Sara, tell me a little bit how you've been able to help people with health since retiring from nursing and just doing that with Plexus.
It's really interesting. I knew I wanted to be a nurse when I was 8 years old, and I never changed my mind. I really felt like that desire to help people and take care of people, nursing was really going to be it for me. Now I know that that was just kind of a launching point, kind of a platform. And I had absolutely no idea that in sharing health and wellness, offering supplements that address things like gut health and inflammation and blood sugar, so many things that people are struggling with. I did not realize that this was just going to be that launching point to be able to not just talk to patients one-on-one, but now be able to reach not just thousands, but tens of thousands of people. And I truly believe that this has just been the next part of my career and being able to share health and happiness with an unlimited amount of people. It's just been a huge blessing.
I love that. Thank you so much. And her husband, he still works because he wants to, and she's been able to retire and help people this way. So that's really a beautiful part of this opportunity. And that's kind of the same for Diamond Ambassador Brooke. She was a family nurse practitioner and advanced nurse practitioner. And now, while she's kind of retired from full time, she still does contract work whenever she wants to, just because she enjoys it. And one fun thing about her, she said her favorite thing for all of you medical professionals is suturing, because she said it's art. It's like a 3D puzzle. Nobody's alike. And she loves the challenge of putting it all together and making people look perfect again. So if I ever need to be sutured, I know where I'm going. But tell us a little bit about what brought you to Plexus.
Well, it's funny. I always say that Plexus found me. I wasn't looking for Plexus. So I really, was struggling with my own personal journey of anxiety. And I looked at my son, who was 7 years old at the time, and was watching him grow up. And the schools were telling me he had anxiety, and they were telling me he needed professional help. And I thought, I'm a professional and there's nothing I can do for him. And I was very frustrated. And so I looked at myself and thought, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His mom is struggling from anxiety. So I was looking for an answer for myself. And I really think it was a total God thing. I saw a post by a trusted friend who happens to be a medical assistant, and it said something about anxiety and energy. And I thought, I need a whole lot of one and a whole lot less of another. So I had really been looking at in my drug software and trying to figure out what medicine I would put myself on for the first time ever in all of my life at 35 years old. I thought, I'm gonna have to medicate myself, and I'm gonna be one of those people that, have anxiety, like there's something wrong with them. We see them come in the ER. There was a stigma. I had labeled them. I had judged them. I had done all those things. And I found myself in their shoes, and it was a hopeless place to be. And I looked at those drugs and I looked at those chemicals, and I thought, I don't want to put these things in my body. Meanwhile, I'm chugging my Diet Coke. So I was a huge hypocrite, but I didn't want to put those drugs in my body. And so I was praying for an answer, and I looked at Plexus, and I remember calling my friend and I said, okay, seriously, what is this stuff? Because I trusted her. I, on the phone that day on speakerphone, pulled up the website. I opened, I said, where's the labels? What is in this stuff? And I remember that day thinking, this company is incredibly transparent. I can pronounce every ingredient. There's nothing in this stuff. It's never going to work for me. But you know what? It's better than these other options that I've got that all have 500 side effects. So that was really what it was. I felt like I wasn't looking for Plexus. I was looking for an answer, and God dropped Plexus in my lap, and I've never looked back. So I could expand more on that later, but it was the answer to my son's anxiety and many, many other family problems. So it wasn't all about me. It never has been.
I love that. And kind of speaking to that, so it helped your son and you with anxiety. Sara mentioned helping with weight loss. I know for me, I came to it for chronic pain and different things like that. So how does one supplement line address so many different issues for people?
It seems magic, right? I mean, I always say like it feels magical because it kind of is. So it's because it's gut health. When you address the gut and the microbiome, this microscopic army that is living in our intestines, you have more bacteria in your gut, more bacteria, little people, than you do cells in your entire body. And we don't do anything about it. I'm here to tell you, as a nurse practitioner, I would say, are you peeing? Are you pooping? Especially for kids. And people say, okay, next question. No one pays attention to your gut. And if they say, is it normal? Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? Like patient A, their normal might be every 2 weeks, and it's always been every 2 weeks to go to the bathroom. If you're on this call, that's not normal. We need to talk. But if that's normal and you shake your head, yes, we go to the next question. It is gut health, and it is so underaddressed in the medical community and anywhere because we don't talk about it. So when you fix that microbiome, when you address that microscopic army and you get the good guys winning and the bad guys are lower and you kind of fix that balance, things fall into place. Hormones, which affects mood and all the things, all the hormone things, right? Ladies and gentlemen out there, all the things. Inflammation, you talked about pain. Almost all pain is related to inflammation. I know Sara touched on this. We're going to sound like a broken record, but blood sugar regulation, it's all the things that are addressed in your gut. Yeah, I mean, you get that gut in line, and I would put gut health against any problem out there.
Yes, I love it. Gut health changed my life for sure. And I love our cornerstone combo that's focused on gut health. We also have incredible vitamins. I know this was mentioned a little bit. Can you kind of expand on what is methylation and why is it essential in vitamins, and how does Plexus do that?
So when we eat foods that are fortified with different vitamins and minerals, or, we try to have the products in the store, they try to provide us with the nutrition that we need. But the problem is a lot of us can't absorb those things. So you need bioavailable ingredients. And bioavailable means that your body can break it down. It can process it. It can absorb it. What we don't know is that, or what a lot of people don't know is that their body can't process folic acid is one. So we can all usually process folate. We can process folate, but not folic acid. Well, a lot of our foods are fortified with folic acid. That's a great idea, theoretically, right? Like we're trying to protect people and get that into our foods and into our bodies and protect kids and people who are not taking vitamins on a regular basis. But the problem is a good portion of the population can't even break down that folic acid. So you need bioavailable ingredients, which means they are ready to be absorbed. They are readily available to your body without your body having to do a lot of, processes to break them down. That's extra work for your body and you're not going to absorb them. So our ingredients in our Plexus products, we have methylated ingredients, methylated vitamins. So when they get into your body, when they go into your mouth, they're ready to be absorbed and everybody can use them. And really, there's no point in taking anything that is not available, that your body can't absorb. So top-notch ingredients that are going to be available and are going to be absorbed is kind of that's my Cliff's Notes version of it.
I love that. So you're talking about gut health. You're talking about blood sugar balance. You're talking about methylation and vitamins, bioavailability. All of that is so huge. So I know that before I found Plexus, I was getting sick all of the time, every single weekend, sick with some kind of something. I got strep throat and bronchitis 3 to 4 times a year as a kindergarten teacher. But now 4 years in, I haven't got strep or bronchitis even once since being on the product. So how in the world does Plexus strengthen our immune system?
It's magic again, right? So over 80% or more of your immune system is based in your gut. Again, you get that microscopic army working for you, you get it to be a favorable environment, you feed the good guys, you drown out the bad guys, and that immune system is going to be boosted. But my favorite part about that is that's not just like getting sick, that's allergies. That's when you think autoimmune and inflammation, where do you think that comes from? There's a reason that gut health affects everything. And it's all about the gut and the microbiome and that healthy balance of good and bad. Feeding the good, getting rid of the bad, digestive enzymes, probiotics, prebiotics, all the magical ingredients that Plexus has in an easy, convenient package. Because I didn't mention this, but I'm a mom of 4 boys and I don't have time for anything difficult. I've done this for 4 years. So that's the hat. It's the last day of school craziness here. But if I can do it, anybody can do it. And we don't get sick either. It's amazing. We just don't get sick.
That leads me to one more question. You heard her say she was doing it for 4 years and she just reached the very top of our company. And how long did you have to go to school before you got your first medical job?
Oh, geez. Longer than 4 years. I mean,
exactly. I love it.
A long time. And I was not making this as a nurse, let alone a nurse practitioner. So it's been well worth it. And this is more gratifying and the reward is far greater. I loved being a nurse practitioner, so we can't take away from that. But I tell people this all the time, so I'll share it with you guys. If I write you a prescription for a blood pressure medicine, I've done one thing. I brought down your numbers. The rest of your life, you're still a hot mess. If I give you the gift of gut health, I have given you a tool to change your life. That's hormones, sleep. You're not a crazy mom. You're not yelling at your kids. You're healthy. All the things. You get out of bed, all those things. And that's before the chronic pain and the headaches. And then guess what? You share that with your children and your husband. And the ripple effect is huge. I can change lives and families and generations. That's way more gratifying than one blood pressure medicine any day, any day.
Girl, that gives me chills. The gift of gut health.
Mhm.
And I just want to highlight, you heard it straight from an advanced nurse practitioner's mouth. What we have is magic. So I want
Mhm.
to go ahead and play off of that. That's going to be part one of our code word tonight. It's a two-part code word. The first part is magic. So stay tuned to hear the rest. So I'm excited to introduce you to Emerald Ambassador Ame. I love hearing her talk about our products. Now, she was a really successful master nutrition therapist who worked privately under a naturopath and the chief of surgery. So she knows her stuff. So tell us a little bit about what brought you to Plexus.
Well, I'm super excited to share about this because, yes, I'm all about the gut microbiome. Like, I could geek out all day long. I was brought into Plexus because a good friend of mine was talking about the product. And I'm just going to be straight up with everybody because that's just me. I thought it was a joke. I saw her talking about it. I said, there's no way. I have thousands of hours of experience. I did not go to school for 6 weeks. I went to school for 3 years, not a medical degree, but I knew what I was looking for. And I had access to top-notch whole products. And when she came to me and she was talking to me and she said, you should look at this for your patients. I was personally a runner. I was running, full large races, constantly lots of things going on. I was vegan. I looked at her and I thought, well, you're crazy. No, thank you. Then I moved. And so when I moved, I had a large amount of stress and I completely went back to old habits. When I had originally gone back to school and became a nutritionist, I was easily 200 pounds. I'm 5'3". And through the process of school, through the process of my family changes, we made big habit changes. And I had been on that track for a good 7-8 years. So when Plexus was brought to me, I thought, no, I don't need to have my patients do this. I don't personally need to do this. You're not going to tell me some flippy floppy little pink thing is going to make magic happen for my people, because I create a program and a follow-up program and it takes months. And so I said, no, I wouldn't even look. What I did end up doing is, in the process of moving, I was curious. I wanted to know what she was talking about because she didn't have my background, but I respected her as a friend because I knew she was never going to be involved in something that was fly by night. So I started noticing ingredients that I was telling people to take to help with their liver, to help with their body, exactly what the ladies already said. And I was talking to them about, 10, 15 different supplements for them to take 2, 3, 4 times a day, and $700-800 in supplementation. And so I saw her telling me about these products and I started looking at the ingredients, and I'm not stupid. Like, I really stood back and said, now, wait a minute. If I can take all those ingredients and I can make up for it with 1, 2, 3 items, then how incredible is it for the person that's busy, that wants ultimate health, but just they can't quite get there, and they want to get a success path faster. And I saw the same things all the time in my practice. And then when it happened to me again, I was like, no way. And I called her. I said, okay, send me samples. And then I didn't try them for 2-3 months. And so I said, okay, send them to me again. I'm serious this time. I've really gained some weight. Like, I need some of this. And I started down the path of Plexus, and I was impressed, because I'm not impressed when something is 30 days. I'm not impressed that you lose 50 pounds in 30 days. That's not long haul for me. And so I was really excited and impressed by the onion layers that I started seeing in my own body. And then what I was then able to offer the clients and the people I love. And I started seeing changes that I knew. I had worked with some of those people for years. And Plexus was not the magic, although we do joke about the magic. It really was a combination that was the money. So yeah, so that was my story. And then, I started making changes in my body, got back on track. And so, yeah, so that was kind of how I started, but it's been 6 incredible years.
That's awesome. And so you mentioned how it works as a combination. So will you talk a little bit about what supplement synergy is and how the Plexus products work together synergistically?
Absolutely. I remember the first time I asked my friend, and we've been friends for over 20 years, by the way, so I trusted her to not give me garbage. I said, why do they work? How are you going to use 3 little products and they're going to replace like 10? And she said, well, they work synergistically. And I thought, okay, that's a lie. Like that doesn't even happen. So I got educated. And what I began to realize is they really do. So when you work on blood sugar, and that's all you work on, and you don't, yes, you're increasing your gut health because our product is a prebiotic, not just a blood sugar, balancer. In that process of adding in a second product that is also reducing all the negative junk, those products are working together. If they were by themselves, your power would be so much less. And so what Plexus has done is create a system that can do 2, 3, 4 things at once, because it is the ripple that she just talked about. When you have one thing that's off, there's a core reason. And if your gut has been off, regardless of your weight, I work with ultra marathoners, they're stick skinny. That is not a weight issue, it's a gut issue. There's a ripple. And I started seeing changes in me that were related to skin, horrible skin. And I was eating stellar. But the synergistic amounts of those right ingredients, the right products, the right amounts, they work together and they're more powerful together. So Plexus is seriously smart, and it works better.
Yes. And you heard us talking about how we all truly believe that everybody needs these products. So can you talk for a second about how does somebody who already eats right, they already eat healthy, they already work out, do they need these products?
I always ask people this. I ask people because the idea that you can eat for everything in your body, I believe. I was trained that way. I'm functionally medicine trained. I believe that. I've seen it. I've lived it. However, I always look at people's lifestyle. How's their stress? How's their stress management? How's their water? How's their sleep? How's their relationships? When most humans, and because we're a global company, this isn't just a US issue, this is a global issue. I know my life, I'm literally at the track field right now, speaking with all of you. I have the privilege of being able to do that because nobody dictates my hours anymore and I can be there for my kids. But at the same time, I was running today. And no matter how much food I make myself, I can grow my own garden, I can be non-GMO, I can be gluten-free. There is a level of stress that brain gut connection is so connected. And I've personally taken, as all you ladies have, groups of people that really treat themselves really well. And they're the ones that come back and say, oh, my inflammation, my brain, my sleep, my calm, my focus. Yes. So yes, I believe that everybody can have a benefit. So
I love it.
I just do.
I love that. So while you were looking into Plexus, you mentioned some of the ingredients catching your eye. Can you
Yes.
talk about some of those, maybe some of your favorite ingredients or some of the ones you're just really excited to talk about?
Yes, I get really super excited about the fact that we have a prebiotic, because as you become more educated, I love that normal people are getting educated, because that's like 15-year-old information for the holistic, for me, right? For all of us that are in the hippie world. But I love that we have a prebiotic, and we have 2 different ones. I love XOS, but I also love that good quality polydextrose because it does a world of difference for people's balance. So I love that. And if I had to choose another one, I would say the alpha lipoic acid, because the filter, what that does. I mean, I always said the money in Slim is that. I could go on and on. And I do agree about all the methylation, because if it's not methylated, why bother? So, but yes, the ingredients. But can I also just tell you the why I quit? Because you
Yeah.
asked me that other question. Okay. So I loved my job, y'all. I did not have a desire to quit. I loved my job. I loved my patients. We lived in 5 different states. I've been all over. But I felt like I'd hit a wall, and I knew I wanted to help more people. And if I could get into your space and bridge that gap with a supplement, then I could help you change your diet. And if the ripple into my family has been huge, my weight has gone back to normal. My mental has gone back to healthy because of the products. And I decided to go ahead and leave my practice because I could replace my income a million times faster because I was helping more people, and I was no longer in that cubicle that didn't allow me to be with my family. My husband's wildland fire. He's gone 6 months out of the year. I need flexibility, and I crave helping people. And those two don't usually go together. And that's why I left.
That's incredible. So you've heard now so far from 3 women who loved helping people. That's why they went to school for years. That's why they did what they did, but they found a way to help more people and then bring about a freedom to their life that they couldn't have otherwise. So that leads us to Diamond Ambassador Jamie, who is a physical therapist for 10 years. And she said that her favorite part was helping people return to wellness and reduce their pain, and how Plexus has done that beautifully as well. So tell me what drew you to Plexus.
Hey there. So I have been with Plexus for about 3 years. And like you said, I've had a wide variety of experience in physical therapy. I have a background in exercise physiology and biochemistry. And so I've always been really passionate about helping, just helping people live healthier lifestyles. And, I want to just share a little bit about my story and kind of what drew me to Plexus. But I wasn't looking for Plexus, and God just kind of dropped this in my lap, like Brooke said, and I was experiencing just a lot of health struggles in my life, and just ability to get through my day, and just as a mom and a wife and as a physical therapist, and I just had really low energy and mood and anxiety. And I was doing all the things. I was, moving my body and eating healthy and, eating clean, managing stress and trying to get sleep. Although I had difficulty sleeping, falling asleep and staying asleep. And I knew that, if I was struggling with these things and I was doing all the things correctly, so I thought that there were other people out there, struggling as well. And so I started the products, and at first I was very skeptical, but I started the products and started to notice a lot of positive changes in my life. And I began to just share with others, not ever intending to, retire from my career. And as I began to share, I began to see, the positive impact that it was having on, other people's lives, losing weight and, getting rid of anxiety, and better sleep, and just being, happier and healthier. And so this was really the perfect match for me. So in my career, I had worked with a lot of people, getting them back to their physical health. And so we didn't do very much addressing, the gut health and the blood sugar and the inflammation control. And when you look at wellness, you need to address all these things. I was a certified manual therapist. And so I did a lot of manual therapy. I did some dry needling, which I felt was a really great way to get into the nervous system. And I did a lot of corrective exercise training. I'm Pilates trained as well. And so there were a lot of patients that I had that, I would do all these things and they were still struggling because of, inflammation and gut issues and, all these things. And so I felt like, I had experienced amazing results with the products, and this was like a perfect match. And it was really Plexus's beliefs were really in alignment with my beliefs. And it really brought together this passion for seeing people's health restored and getting to the root causes of dysfunction in their bodies. And it made, the movement and the manual therapy and all these things so much more powerful in combination, with addressing these root causes, the gut health, the blood sugar stability, the inflammation, the nutrient absorption, all things that are linked to, chronic disease, right? And so, I just have to say, this business grew very organically for me. I loved my career. I never intended to leave my career. I now have a whole team of medical professionals. There's a lot of medical professionals, doctors and chiropractors and, osteopathic practitioners and nurse practitioners and nurses. And it's just really, it's been a really amazing journey. So I value healthcare. I enjoyed what I was doing before Plexus. And this has just been a huge blessing. I studied in school for 9 years, worked in healthcare for about 10 years. And when I was working, the last thing I'll say is that, I was praying for a change because I was seeing many patients a day and didn't have any time or energy for my family. And I was charting late at night and kind of rushing through my evenings. And so I'm now able to, live my life and my work around my life. I exceeded my full-time income in 14 months, and I've been with the company for 3 years, and that's just continued to grow and grow. And such a blessing.
That's awesome. That's incredible. So you heard her talk about how she now has a whole team of medical professionals. So that kind of answers the questions that medical professionals are getting on board with this. Can you talk a little bit about how Plexus is on the cutting edge of medical research and science?
So yes, so I was attracted to Plexus. So before I started taking the products, I emailed the company, and I love to research, and I researched all the ingredients. I went to PubMed and looked in medical journals, and I was attracted to Plexus because of, they're now, scientific advisory board. There are doctors from Harvard and Johns Hopkins, some where their focus is on the microbiome. And, so I feel like Plexus has, just creating this, they're in alignment with scientific research, and I love that. And as many of these, women talked about tonight, cutting edge of science is microbiome, is, these root causes that are linked to, the reflection of our overall health, as well as, chronic illness.
That's awesome. So then why, to kind of cap off what everybody said, why do you think that Plexus is the answer to so many different health issues today?
So I really feel like, so in graduate studies, we studied and learned about, full body systems, and not these root causes, related to systemic inflammation and gut health and, disease and autoimmunities and all these things. So, and how the systems are intricately connected, and, research is really evaluating these root causes now. And it's just fascinating what we are finding out now. And, just even, 15 years ago, what we weren't being, taught. And so, just the microbiome and its link to immunity and mood and behavioral control and just our overall health. So I really feel like it bridges the gap between, Eastern and Western medicine. And, it really is helping what I believe we all need is a more holistic approach to incorporating wellness and just to treating those root causes.
That's awesome. And then I have one more question for Ame. A lot of people ask, are these products safe? So I want to ask you, do you trust them for your family?
Well, yes, absolutely. We have, just to say family wise, my husband has a very high stress job. He's wildland fire. He relies on our protein to help him so that he can get a quality meal in his body for the high performance he's required to have. He relies on our probiotics to help keep him clear and to have that good mellow that he needs to make big, huge decisions on the daily. And my children, they were part of the test group for the Children's Chewable. What child is going to take a probiotic and then a multivite? And yes, they will, but when you can package it in a way that is no sugar, no fake junk. So as far as safety, I honestly watch, and I know all of you said some version of this, that Plexus goes the extra mile to make sure that we're getting those ingredients that are not only safe, but effective. And so that's where, for me, I am persnickety about what I'll allow my family to eat or drink, or, I'm hoping it doesn't backfire on some of those, fronts in the future. However, as far as our products, yes, I believe in them, and I have seen it, and we've experienced it, and I'm very comfortable with our product line and my family.
And I'm sure that the rest of the ladies could say the same thing. So you hear, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, 9 years. These are medical professionals who love to help people, but they have found a way to help people in a different way through products that really are getting to the root issue and are helping people feel better and look better and do better and be better. And just, it's incredible. So if you're watching and you're still a little bit skeptical, that's okay. Many of us were skeptical too. It's okay if you're skeptical, but if you'll give it a try, I would venture to say that you will be a former skeptic, just like all of the other ladies on this call tonight. So the second part of our code word is medicine. And if you put those two things together that we talked about earlier, we're obviously not saying it is, but it's just such an incredible way to get to the root. And it works so well. We all like to say it feels a little bit like magic. So thanks again for listening tonight. Thanks for hearing what the medical professionals had to say. Have a good night, and I hope that you'll give this a try.